a different place. If I sound a little bit funny, I apologize. I am in a hotel in Las Vegas, doing the podcast early in the morning to get everything you need to get ready for the weekend. In this episode, we will get feedback from the wise guys who listen to the show. We will make our survivor pick and build our money line underdog round robin. We're going to give out our foxhole. We're going to give out our big balls bet of the week. We will narrow down our picks for the free-to-play favorites podcast, $100,000 pro football pick'em contest. As our old pal Colin Cowherd likes to say, there's a sea of money out there. If you want to follow along with our official bets, you can check them out on the contest website, favorites.actionnetwork.com, when we lock them in before kickoff on Sunday. And if you prefer using the award-winning Action app, you can also track all the bets Simon and I lock in by following two accounts, the Faves 5 and the Favorites podcast. Now, let's bring in my co-host, my companion, my compadre, my BFF, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon. I'm a little subdued because I'm in a hotel. I'm recording next to the wall of the room next to me because that's where the best light is, facing the window, so I can't be as yelly as I would normally be.
It's Vegas, baby. You can yell all you want.
I guess that's true, right?
Yeah.
The walls are thick as steel, and nobody's awake at 8 a.m. No, nobody's sleeping at 8 a.m.
No.
Good to see you, buddy.
Great to be here, Chad. If people can't tell, Chad knows this. I'm dead, people. I've been traveling, shaking hands with people, and it got me. It finally caught up to me. If at any point I just disappear, know it's for good reason. I am probably sick. So yeah, I'm gonna give my best effort. Luckily this week, not that every week is easy. Me and Chad hates when I say that, but this week, honestly, we talked on Tuesday. A lot of the guys who I talked to, I thought they're gonna be on certain sides. They're on those sides, and not much has changed. So I'm looking forward to today because there's been a lot of line movement, Chad. So I got a lot of hate on Tuesday's show, and a lot of those lines moved in the directions I thought they were going to move, luckily.
Simon, I am in a city built on the backs of people who like to say, oh, it's easy. I am in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas, as you know. I saw U2 last night at the Sphere, which was just insane. Like everything that everybody has said, it is the visuals, the sound, the show, just outrageously awesome. But during the day, I had lunch with your predecessor, Bob Scucci, aka Scooch. I showed him pictures from the live show, which he was overjoyed. He told me stories about people still coming by to sign books, to have him sign books, stories about his wife being on conference calls and someone recognizing her last name and asking if she was related to him. So for all the old heads who have been listening to the show since the ESPN days, he is thrilled to be remembered. We're going to get him on during the season. He looks amazing, still has the best laugh in the business. As a reminder, the Favorites podcast is presented by Bet365. Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why you get more boost with them than with anyone else. Every day they power up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more. Bet365 boosts specific markets, your winnings, and even parlays, and they don't stop there. Keep an eye out for their biggest and best odds with the incredible Super Boost. Check out the boost and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and over and present in Colorado, Iowa, Colorado, Iowa, Louisiana, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. 18 and older in Kentucky. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Terms, conditions, restrictions apply. All right, week 14 is approaching. Opportunities all over the board. Lines have been moving like crazy. Simon, it's time for Sharp Calls.
Yeah, and clearly the boys like the Jets. The Jets number since our show has moved 3 points, Chad. So I get it, people. I understand where you're coming from, but you know, that sucks. Like you could have got 6.5. It's down to 3.5. That sucks. Like there was just so much movement on that number. Is Zach Wilson really worth 3 points? What is happening? What is this world we're living in right now, Chad? So,
but look, Simon, that actually raises a question. should we be thinking about the Texans now?
Fuck no. No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no. No, 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 no. The fact
That
that
might
this
have made you sick right there when I said that.
yeah. Um, yeah, I don't have the energy to go crazy about it, but no, don't stay away from the Texans. I don't get it. It looks they're literally the books are telling you they're going to lose this game outright. The fact that it's moved this much, and that's all professional money. I mean, I'm in our app right now. It's still well over 70% of the bets and the money is on the Houston Texans, and this number has moved 3 points. So stay away. A game I got wrong. Took a lot of shit for it, but I'm gonna stand my ground. Um, the pros love the Bills. They love the Bills in this spot, Chad. I talked to multiple guys who really like the Bills playing here, but I don't know about you, but nothing's changed for me. I still like the Chiefs in this spot. I like that Evans trends back it up, backing them here because I already just liked it anyway, matchup wise. Where too many pros I talked to, they're just like, well, the Bills are going to be so desperate. This is their season. They know they need to win this to make the playoffs. It's like haven't the Bills known that for like 2 months that every game they needed to win to make the playoffs. So I'm not really buying it. I can't get there on the matchup where the numbers move so much. If we have Mahomes and he has the ball last, Chad, I feel like we're going to win. And I know it didn't work out last week with Green Bay, but it's back-to-back times where either the receiver failed Mahomes or the referees kind of failed him, right? That pass interference probably should have got called the previous week. But
Yeah.
at this point, I was just shocked to talk to so many guys who like the Bills. And I think the number was -3, -2.5. We did the show Tuesday, and now it's down to 1.5. So, yeah, if you're cautious about it, I totally get it. But to me, I'm going to keep taking the value, and I think there's value on the Chiefs. I make the number -3. So that's a game, obviously, for me, you were going to talk about.
Yeah.
A game your buddy Simon tried to save you from Atlanta. You wanted to take Atlanta. I wouldn't let you do it. I was like, something's fishy about this line. What's that number now, Chad?
It's about 1.5, I think.
Yeah, it's down to 1. It's down to 1, brother. So, yeah, the gut feeling was right. You're supposed to take the Bucks in this spot. What the fuck are we gonna do here, Chad? Are we really about to take the Bucks in this game? I hate it, and it's moved so much where it's like, this is where I think maybe the value shifted to Atlanta a little, but it's scary. I've talked to multiple guys who love the Bucks. They love the Bucks outright this week. So, I don't know what to do with that one. Like the numbers moved so much where at 2.5, I would have felt comfortable taking the Bucks. Now it's like I kind of want to take Atlanta, but I don't like the spot because I know so many pros are on the other side. That's not the best spot to be in.
I don't think we're going to need it. I think we got 5 games we like. We'll get there, but keep going.
Obviously love your Bears pick. I mean, we talked all week about that. It's the classic. Every pro is going to be on it, and we're all either win together, we're all going to lose together. It's just that's what that would be. The Bears, the pros will be on the Bears, the public will be on the Lions, and I told you I was hoping this was going to go to 3 and stay at 3 because that would make me feel better about taking the Bears. But you can still get 3.5. Like there's still a bunch of 3.5s out there. So, little worried about the Bears. It's becoming that public dog of the week.
It did get to 3, and they are becoming the public dog, right? 72% of the tickets right now on Chicago.
I think we talked about that. I put that on what Evan told us about the weather, where it's like if it's going to be windy and wet, we want the RPO team. We don't want to take Detroit that needs to have everything be perfect for their offense to really click. So, yeah, it was just interesting talking to the pros. I love it so much. Just really quick, I'll run through the next 2 where it's split. The guys are split really on this Rams Ravens game. I think we're getting good value on the Rams. Talked to plenty of pros who like the Ravens in this spot. They just don't think the Rams are that good of a team. And the Ravens, they put them as a top 3 team in the AFC. Where, in the NFC, if the NFC was any kind of type of decent, the Rams would probably be right there at 7-8 looking in, right? But I still think people just don't respect Stafford. It's just Evan just put in the chat, rain, wind in Baltimore too. Okay, that's making a little bit more sense. Yeah. I could see why you'd want to take the Ravens in that spot, but still 7.5. There's still one out there. I still think you should grab it on the Rams. They're such a good offense. They can run the ball, and Williams is back fully healthy. And we've seen that the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
That their offense really runs through him. As great as Stafford is and everything he does, when the run game's working, that offense is incredible. And the last one, which I don't know if we'll get there, but the Cleveland Browns are up to -3.5 now at Jacksonville. And I think all the pros I talked to love the same thing, where you're getting this Cleveland defense at home where they've been so dominant against a backup quarterback. It's a nice spot to take them, especially if the weather's going to be bad. They really like them in that spot. But I'm with you, Chad, where it's like 2.5. I could get there in Cleveland at 3.5. I don't know if I'm as confident in that number, even though kicking's probably going to be irrelevant in this game if the winds are really that strong and you have the lake effect kind of rain and everything. So definitely a week of weather. Everyone's talking weather. Everyone I talk to, all they're really talking about is weather. So that to me is going to be the big deciding factor on Sunday. If you haven't made any bets, you've already missed a lot of these numbers. I would wait to get more info about the weather because it is going to be such a huge factor here come Sunday.
As a reminder, you can catch every episode of The Favorites live on YouTube. Producer Tito would like me to tell you, for those enjoying on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. All right, time to narrow down these games. Got to get to our foxhole, got to get to our survivor, got to get to our big balls bet of the week. Boy.
Oh yeah.
What's the matter? What's the matter? You not feeling great?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how exhausted I was after talking just for whatever that was, 5 minutes.
Oh God. All right. In the gambling world, the biggest storyline of the week has been these low totals, right? Thanks to the weather you mentioned, backup quarterbacks that we talked about, like New England, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Cleveland, could be the first duo of NFL games to close to 31 or less in the same week in 18 years. If you include Houston and the Jets, total of 33, we could see the first week since December of 1993 to have 3 games close with a total below 33, going back to 1980. And this is all from Evan Abrams. No NFL total has ever closed before 30, going back 43 years. That same weekend in 93 that I just mentioned, late December, 3 dipped below 30, but all closed at 30 or higher. Here's a great stat. Stuckey mentioned this on the Action Network podcast that he did with Raybon, that they talked about their Sunday six pack, mentioned it specifically in reference to Cleveland, trying to figure out how to play that game. The last 3 seasons, games with 10 plus mile per hour winds at kickoff, 110, 55 and 1 to the under, and they're going under the total by about 5.5 points per game. That's against the closing number, right? So even if you're losing the value over the course of the week, you could still bet the under, and it's closing, and the games are finishing 5.5 points below the closing number in these 10 plus mile per hour wind kickoffs. Like, I wish we could just play totals this week in the contest.
No, but it's definitely a stat. It's a stat to keep in your mind for the rest of your life, where it's like Chad just said, don't let the line movement scare you off of it. It's a long-term winner. Even when the line moves, it doesn't move enough apparently. So pretty impressive stat.
Biggest wins this week: Jets, Baltimore, Jets, Houston, Baltimore Rams, Cleveland Jags, and Cleveland. All right. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. You said you were looking for a reason to like the Bucs. And you found one. The wise guys all came in on the Bucs, and now that number is not something that we'd want to play. To me, this becomes a pass. I don't think we're going to need the game. I feel like we're going to find consensus on 5 games pretty easily. Not easy to win. I just want to be clear. Just easy consensus for us. Because this line has moved significantly since you said you liked it. And that's with majority of the tickets, by the way, on Atlanta. I'll say one thing, because Evan did pull an interesting stat. Teams with a negative straight up point differential who are over 500 against the spread later in the season, they cover at a pretty high rate since 2015, and they're 10-5 this season. This week, New England and Atlanta.
Interesting. Yeah, I like you said, I kind of wanted to be on the Bucs. I got where you're coming from with Atlanta. I thought the line was fishy, and I don't know. Like, as much as I want to say the value's gone, it just seems like this is the pros versus Joes. I mean, you just said it. It's like 80% of the handle at a lot of books right now is on Atlanta, and it's down to basically a pick -1. So This is the games where the books and the professionals kind of take a stand on, and this is how they, like you just said, how Vegas is built. This is how Vegas is built. These kind of games where it's like it's really heavy one-sided, and the reverse line movement comes all the way down. So I could see this. Evan will give us the play on Sunday, but it feels like this will be one of the bigger public sides of the week, Atlanta here.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny. As you were saying it, I started to think, wait a second. Should we be on the Bucks? Is this the spot? Because don't
Yeah, they're
forget,
still a
there's
dog. As long as they don't move to a favorite, I don't mind
yeah,
it.
I don't mind it either. And like
Yeah.
dogs in the division the past 10 years, 57% against the spread, 56% against the spread. I mean, so, wait, 5 years? Yeah, 5 years. Road dogs in the division, 57% against the spread. All right. Detroit at Chicago. We talked about this game. The wise guys are on it.
Yeah.
It's becoming a public dog. I will say this, and again, kudos to Stuckey and Raybon from their podcast, because this was a game that they talked about as well. The Bears are a better team than the Lions since week 7. And I know I've been saying this on the podcast. I know I've been saying this run defense
I
is
was gonna
better
say, why
than
don't
you
you give
think.
kudos to yourself? You literally said it Sunday night, brother.
That's true. That's
As
right.
much as you want to blow
Kudos.
smoke up their ass, you were all over it.
That's right.
Sunday night.
Flowers. You know what? Here's the thing, Simon. I'm a leader. Okay. I'm an executive, and I want to give the credit to my colleagues, the folks who do so much work on our team. I don't need the credit. I got plenty of credit. We got our faces on t-shirts.
This is
right?
your baby. You were definitely the first person I heard mention this game was definitely you Sunday night.
So here's the thing that I do want to give Stuckey credit for. Aleem McNeil, the defensive tackle for the Lions, is going to be out. And he's been the key for that defense. If you watch every Lions game, he's the guy who makes so many plays in the backfield and
the key for their defense is horrible.
Right, but when they were good earlier in the year, they were playing well.
Yeah, I know. Key. It's just funny to say he's the key.
Well, someone's got to be good, right? And so now we're talking about a Bears run game with an RPO in a bad weather situation. Bad weather. So to me, we still love the Bears. I guess that's all there is to say.
Just prefer to the 3.5, obviously. Grab that over the 3.
Yeah. Also, Goff on the road is just a bad spot. Outdoors, 34-34-2 against the spread. 9-14-1 against the spread in December, January, averaging less than 14 points per game when it's below 50 degrees. But this is a good spot for the Bears.
Yeah, here's a great stat from Evan. The Lions defense, 27th in EPA-D since week 10. Just terrible. Right.
And the Bears meanwhile
gotten better every week.
Every week. I think they're 6th or 7th. So kudos to me, Simon.
There you go.
LA Rams at Baltimore. I still like it. Like the thing that gets me.
But do you like it at 6.5? Because that's what it might be in contest.
No, I don't like it at 6.5. I like it at 7.5.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So that's tough where it's like it might not make our contest, even though we both like it and bet it since Sunday. But the only thing that scared me up a little bit is what Evan posted about the weather, because obviously with Gus Edwards and Lamar, that's like one of the best 1-2 combinations in all football running the ball. So not ideal, but I feel like I need to stand my ground. This Rams team, they're being priced as if Stafford's still banged up, and they're just not that good of a team, where I think this is as healthy as they've been all season offensively. I mean, Cooper Kupp's in there, Puka's in there, Williams is in there. Their offensive line, I'm pretty sure, is still fully healthy from the start of the season. So we talked preseason. I think if they win this game, I hit my over, Chad, which is a pretty good feeling. I had an obscene amount of money invested in them at 6.5 wins. And when Cooper Kupp went out, I was just dead inside for about a week. I was like, well, that's a dead bet. And little did I know, a man named Puka would be my hero and save my ass on that bet. So, I need one more from the Rams here. If this would be with this one, it'd be amazing, because we're definitely throwing this in the round robin. I mean, this is the biggest dog that I like this week. So, the nothing's changed for me. Even though the weather does scare me a little bit, I love this Rams team. But me and Chad are hoping these pros come back in on the Ravens, so we get that 7.5 in contest.
Yeah, we need a little bit of a hook here. I agree with you on the Rams. I'm just a Stafford guy. Like when he has the ball late in the game, I know, look, I know he can wing it, and I know he might throw an interception that ends the game, but I'm still comfortable
Yeah.
having them in the hook. Like I did bet them 7.5 earlier in the week, racing. This is how the world has changed, Simon. I'm in New York Monday, Tuesday, fly to Vegas early Wednesday, and I'm on the tarmac at Newark Airport racing to get my bets in that I had forgotten to make before I get to Vegas, because it's impossible to make them in Vegas on mobile because you got to go everywhere and deposit at the retail outlets. I'm like, I don't want to run around town depositing bets somewhere. I just want to make it on my phone and it's easier. So I'm not even bothering while I'm in Vegas. How pathetic is that?
No,
How much has
they're
that
still
changed?
they're still in the Stone Age in Vegas.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They got to fix that. It's just you can't stop progress. Carolina at New Orleans. I'm liking this game more and more.
Yeah.
I
God
even at
damn it.
four, honestly, Simon, even at 4.5, I would like it. And it's moved a
Yeah.
lot against us since Sunday. But look, and it really to me comes down to there's a couple things. One, Panthers have JC Horn back. He's a difference maker, I think, in the backfield for them. Two, their defense has been playing better. This is about Dennis Allen, Jameis Winston, and just how bad this New Orleans team is. Like they shouldn't be favored by 4.5 over anybody at this point. They're not that good of a team.
They are, but I don't think me and you would be surprised if we lost this game by 20. I mean, the Panthers are just very bad, and they had their what do you call it, their dead cat bounce last week, having the new coach
Yep.
in there. So it's like,
Yep.
we're just playing the numbers here. People, please don't get mad at us about this one. But I've already had a couple of messages about it where it's like, I thought we weren't betting the Panthers anymore, and it's like, you got to take these kind of spots. Like Chad just said it, that number is way too big for a Derek Carr offense that just struggles in the red zone like they do. And Dennis Allen, I really wish I had listened to Chris and Evan here early in the season, where if we just faded them, I think they're 2-9 ATS. Is that wrong, Evan? Is that right? Yeah. They're horrible this season, Saints covering the spread. So the issue is usually at this time of the year, I usually want to buy those teams. Like you already just talked about the Patriots. They're a team that like you're supposed to bet this week. Like historically, teams as bad as they've been ATS wise, they usually bounce back, but I can't get there. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am on Pittsburgh for the Thursday night game. And same goes here where I get why people want us to take the Saints and what they're looking at with the Saints team, but I think Chad nailed it. It's just we're just really fading Derek Carr and the head coach. And this Panthers team, I don't want to say they found something last week, but it did look like Bryce Young looked a lot more comfortable in the offense. I mean, it's great. They put up 18 points. I know it's nothing crazy, but for them, that's pretty good. So, yeah, divisional game, like Chad said, I wouldn't hate taking the 4.5, but I would hope you could still get the 5. It is out there just because this cover could come down to a 2-point conversion. I mean, how many times have we seen that? So,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's like a dog I do love this week, but I do prefer Carolina outdoors. I think that is a beneficial to their defense just because indoors it's just so much teams are so much faster, right, on that turf. And that's really what has helped the Saints this season. I know they haven't been covering, but they have, semi been winning games. What are they, 5-7? So yeah, two terrible teams. Me and Chad usually like to take the points when it's two terrible teams playing.
Simon, we still got to do a foxhole. We still got to do a big balls. This could be on the table for one of those. There's a couple of the games that I want to talk about that might take
Okay.
bigger balls, but I do want to put this on the table as a potential big balls bet of the week. I think foxhole might come down to something else. This next game, to me, Seattle at San Francisco. This game, like 2 weeks ago in Seattle, this game closed Niners -7.
Yeah.
It opened this week, I think San Francisco -12.5, 13. Immediately got bet down. We noticed it on Sunday night. The Niners destroyed Seattle, kind of exposed them, made everyone reconsider what the Seahawks were. And then, of course, the Seahawks go on the road. The Seahawks play the Cowboys. They play them well in prime time. They've got now a little bit extra rest. Since then, the Niners have gone off and destroyed the Eagles. They are the talk of the NFL. The trend is to play Seattle. They are the big road division dog. The trend is to bet against the Niners the height of the market. You're not going to get any bigger. I feel like we have to bet Seattle here, and I think that takes a lot of balls.
That'd be you. Then I'm not on it. I'm on 49ers. I know. I hate it. But
Really?
yeah. And I talked to the group that did come in heavy on them, and I get where they're coming from, the Seattle love, but I'm just not seeing it like that. I don't know. It's just tough for me where they're like, would you see what they did against Dallas' defense? And I don't know, man. I don't put Dallas in the top regard as other people do. Like people hype that defense up so much, and I just think they're a defense that beats up on bad teams and they struggle against good offenses. And like nothing's changed my opinion this season. Like I've seen that this season from them. So I can't get there, brother. I just think the 49ers have the Seahawks number, especially this team. And you're backing Geno Smith off his probably best game of the season, which has got to be a little scary, Chad, because just before that, we were talking about how the league has kind of figured out Geno. So I know where you're coming from, like usually double-digit dogs, divisional dogs. I'm going to want to back that team. And anyone out there that wants to take the 10.5 with Chad, I totally get it. But I can't let you make this big balls, and I can't let you put this in contest. I just can't get there on the Seahawks.
Well, then I feel like we're narrowing down our options, and big balls might have to be Carolina.
I don't hate that.
All right. Carolina Panthers. Big balls. Bet of the week.
Because I have an idea for Foxhole. I'm hoping you're on the same page.
I have an idea for Foxhole too. And I think I am on the same page. So, and I like when you and I are mind melding, but Carolina is our big balls bet of the week. Listen, one of the games we talked about the other day, Minnesota at Las Vegas, all this money coming in on the Raiders. I was surprised this didn't come up in sharp calls. Why is the money not moving in their direction? Because, and you thought something was funky with this.
Yeah.
What have we learned that all of this money is coming on the Raiders and the money is not, and the line is not moving in their direction?
Yeah, I'm staying away from it. It feels there's guys on both sides of it. That's how I felt about it, where it's like I wanted to be on the Raiders, but I saw why guys were backing the Vikings in this spot. And I have no opinion. Like this game, I probably have $2,000 on total. And I bet the Raiders at +3, but like not putting any real money on this one. I just don't really know what to do with it. So I was hoping early in the week. I kind of did love it. I think Sunday night we talked about it. I was like, wow, that's a good number for the Raiders. And now as the week's going along, I'm just not as excited about it. Like there's other games I'd rather take than this one. So yeah, no real opinion on it for me.
All right, good. I'm glad because I didn't want to take the Raiders and no comment either. This is the game that I think is probably our foxhole. Kansas City.
No, it's Simon Says.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, you
saw. Oh, that's right. All right. That's right. All right. I apologize.
But yeah, we can break it down more, but I think it's just where are you at, people, mentally? Are you really giving up on Mahomes? Like, if you give up on Mahomes in this offense, I totally get why you're backing the Bills, but I just think the Chiefs' offense is inconsistent, but you kind of had to ride the wave this season. What are they, 8-4 at this point now? And for Mahomes, playing a full season healthy, that would be considered disappointment. It's like, whoa, that guy's only 8-4 and he's been healthy all season, but we've just seen it. Little things haven't gone their way that usually do, right? They usually get those calls from the referees. Usually his wide receivers make those catches over past seasons. This year, they're just not. So totally get why the pros, like a couple I talked to, like the Bills here. I mean, offensively, yes, the Bills are graded much higher than this Chiefs offense. I mean, they still got Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. I believe the tight end's coming back this week as well. Cook is still their number one running back. Like they still have all their pieces there. For me, yeah, Knox. My big issue with the Bills is just going to be that defense. Like, Russell Douglas has come in and done well. They still can't get stops overall. And a lot of that blame shifted to McDermott and his stupid ass prevent defense that he likes to run. I see no difference here. Like if Mahomes has the ball at the end of the game, Chad, we're getting 1.5. I feel like you're like me. You're feeling pretty good here. It feels like Mahomes is going to get us across that finish line. So I won't let the line movement scare me off, Chad. Like 1.5. We'll bite the bullet. We'll ride the trends with Evan. What was Evan, 7-0 after a loss, Mahomes? So we'll keep riding that trend. We'll back Mahomes here.
Well, look, we talked about this the other day. We were sick to our stomach knowing we had the Packers +6 and no +5.5 in the contest.
Yeah.
and needed it to get to 2-3, and Patrick Mahomes had the ball. And
Yeah, it's scary.
at all costs, you want to avoid that feeling. Right?
Yeah.
So if you can get Patrick Mahomes as a 2-point conversion favorite in this game, yeah, you take it. I already betted at 2.5. As soon as I
It
get
feels
on
like
a
it's a
plane,
long-term winner, right? Like you bet this spot long-term on Mahomes, you're going to be a winner.
Simon, as soon as I get on a plane and get back to a state where online betting is available, I'm betting this number, and I hope it lasts.
Amen, brother.
I don't think our next game is our foxhole. Philadelphia at Dallas. Dallas -3.5. I'm feeling pretty good about Dallas here. You had a power rated at 4.
Let's make it a foxhole. This was I was gonna make foxhole.
What about Giants though?
No, see, the Giants would be big balls. That's not a foxhole. Like this is a foxhole because this is between the pros. This is split right down the middle. I know some pros.
Well, then I
love
might.
the
Okay,
Eagles.
all right. Then let's make this foxhole. I might want to change big balls to Giants.
You're in on the Giants now. You've come full circle.
Maybe.
I love it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Dallas.
I thought this was foxhole just because it's very split. A lot of back and forth, a lot of arguments, a lot of guys saying they got the inside info that Hurts is not hurt, that whatever happened last week was purely to the head. Nothing about his lower body was ever any type of injured. From the other side, from people in Dallas, it's like, no, I'm hearing other news that Hurts is hurt lower body, and that's going to hamper him offensively. Yeah, I would say my favorite thing I saw, if you're an Eagles backer, is there was a bunch of crazy Eagles fans that went to the Eagles stadium with signs, huge signs that said "Run the damn ball," and that's the truth. Like that's what's really been missing with this Eagles team. They just have not been running the ball like they were earlier in the season, right? And Dallas, that's their Achilles heel. Like if you can run the ball on this team, it really can set up everything else. And I totally get it, like where everyone's coming from, but I look at it from the viewpoint of the Eagles. We knew they were going to go through a gauntlet, and they're lucky they're not sitting here right now 0-3, right? They could have easily lost that Bills game, could have easily lost that Chiefs game, and they did get blown out to that 49ers team. And in past years, this would be like an autoplay for me on Dallas because the Eagles and Dallas just always split. That really is how it works in their conference. But yeah, it's shocking that this is so split. Like I'm looking right now in our app, it's basically 50-50. So
yeah,
if you're an Eagles backer, you got to be feeling pretty good getting the +3.5. But Chad knows I make this -4 on the Cowboys, so I'm not scared at all taking the -3.5 here on the Cowboys. It just feels like they're the right side. This is what we always call a scheduled loss for the Eagles. It does feel that way where it's just not an ideal spot for them. And you mix in Cowboys extended rest, December at home. That's a big deal playing against this Eagles team. So yeah, I just couldn't avoid it. It pains me to say, but I am on Dallas this week.
Well, look, schematically, 2 things. One, Lane Johnson is still banged up. Like sat out a couple weeks ago, was not great last week. The Cowboys, that it makes it harder to run the ball when one of your best offensive linemen is not fully healthy. Number one. Number 2, as we saw the Niners do, there is a huge hole in the middle of the field defensively for the Eagles in coverage. And that is something the Cowboys can systematically take advantage of. What have we heard about all season long? The Cowboys are now running a version of a West Coast offense. What does a West Coast offense do? Quick throws, slants across the middle where guys are getting leverage. That is the opportunity that the Cowboys have with really good receivers right now in a middle of the defense that might not be able to cover against that. So schematically, and forget about the spot, there are opportunities. Then I guess we are in the foxhole. New York Giants +6.5. The only reason I would make it the big balls is because the Packers are so high right now, and everyone is in love with them. And it feels like this is a spot where you all right, we're getting notice from Matt Mitchell. He does not want us to switch big balls after the announcement. So we are sticking with
Producer Matt doesn't like
Panthers.
the changing of the big balls.
Producer Matt Mitchell does not like the change.
Dance with who brung you.
Yeah, Dance with Your Brown. It's actually my bad. I forgot. I forgot the Giants were playing Monday night, and I would have gone to them for big balls, but I got so excited about the Panthers because that was an opportunity, and I was thinking Chiefs for Foxhole, and I just lost track, and so I apologize. How are you feeling about the Giants at 6.5?
Yeah, nothing's changed, but I'm with you where it's scary as hell just because the Green Bay is playing their best football of the year, and the books they can't catch up to it. So eventually they will catch up to it, right? It's just the same thing with the Lions. Remember how hot the Lions were, and now it's really flipped these last couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
That's what's happened with Green Bay. I mean, that's just how football is, where it's like you'll be hot for a while. I mean, everything will be clicking, and then some team defensively will scheme it right, and every team will copy that team's scheme, and that's what's eventually going to happen to Green Bay. And this is like kind of one of those games where I wouldn't be shocked if somehow the Giants defense did win this game because it won't be their offense, right? It's like if the Giants do win or cover this game, it's either Jordan Love finally has a bad game and someone schemes it against him, or it's just a total meltdown by the Green Bay offense. Like I don't think me and you either are making this bet thinking, yeah, we're gonna win this because Tommy DeVito is gonna get us there. It's like, no, we need the Giants defense to step up here just because I mean Green Bay's offense, not that I want to call them a juggernaut, but like they put up 27 against a really good Chiefs defense last week. Like this is a team that's really clicking offensively right now. So, I had my questions. I thought it was a little fluky what they did a couple of games, and I was like, yeah, everyone can put points up against the Lions, but if you go back and watch that tape against the Chiefs, like it's all clicking there. Like the LaFleur and Love are just very in tune right now. So, this I don't hate it, Chad. This might be one of my survivor picks, unfortunately. I mean, it's that time of year where it's like there's only so
yeah.
many teams left. My two choices right now are Green Bay or Pittsburgh, and I'm kind of leaning towards Green Bay, but everything Chad said is right. Like I like the Giants. We play this number. It's just, do you want to make it one of our five? Are you that confident in it? It's tough
I
to
actually
say.
feel pretty good about it. Like if, and we'll talk about sort of the
Why?
five we
Were the
would.
boys on it or something?
No, I just feel like this
You
is
just
a
like
good
this game.
spot. I like this game. I like a home team in prime time as a relatively big dog against a
Yeah.
team that has been escalating. The number has moved, the rating has moved up on the Packers
Yeah.
the past few weeks. Like this is just the classic spot where you want to fade a really hot team.
And again, that's what sucks though, is like Chad's saying, is even if we don't catch them this week, I basically have to keep fading Green
Yeah.
Bay for the next like 3 weeks, which is it sounds awful, but that's kind of how it is, where it's like eventually they're gonna fall off a cliff just because no team stays this hot. And yeah, I'm with you. I don't have nearly as much confidence in this bet as you do, obviously.
Well, we'll talk about the five that we think we might land on, right? Reminder about our contest picks. By now, we track our official contest picks in the Action Network app under the Faves 5 account. But again, if you want to see the unofficial picks we enter on Thursday, just go to the contest website, favorites.actionnetwork.com, and search for the Faves 5. That's us. Before we get to our Moneyline Underdog round robin, reminder that the Week 13 contest tiebreaker is total rushing yards on Monday Night Football. Our predictive analyst, Billy Ward, writes a weekly article about tiebreaker strategy, and a link to that article can be found in the episode's description if you want to leg up in the contest. Good luck. Okay.
Wait,
Our money. What's the matter?
dude, you didn't even talk about a game I thought you were gonna bring up. Your love for Denver. What's going on there?
I just felt like the line had moved too much. I don't think we're going to get the number I wanted in the contest.
What number do you want?
Well, I wanted to get 3.5. Because I wanted to see where it was going to land. And I think that the number has moved too much for in Denver's direction right now. Did you feel differently?
Yeah, I told you I didn't know what the hell to do with it. I kind of wanted to take the Chargers because I didn't understand the number. I didn't get why this game wasn't a pick, but yeah, as long as you don't have an opinion, I'm good on this one because
No,
I
no.
don't.
I sort of looked at the board and scratched it off because I felt like I missed the best of it.
Yeah, it's fair.
Um, all right. The money line underdog round robin. Here's some suggestions.
Please.
Panthers,
All right, I'll party.
Rams,
Bears. Who?
Rams,
Rams, Bears.
Carolina, Chicago, Rams, Bucks,
It's too short. It's only
It's 1.5.
yeah, it's minus 102. Nah, pass.
Um,
What about the Jets? Plus 170.
all right, Jets. Can't go wrong putting them in every week.
Yeah,
Eventually,
it'll hit. Um, I mean, it pains me to say because I'm taking a survivor, but we just talked about the Giants. They're plus 240.
yeah. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to jinx your survivor
It's
opportunity.
okay. It's been a great run. So if it ends with Tommy DeVito, that's how it's meant to be.
All right, money line underdog round robin. We're going with Carolina, Chicago, Rams, Jets, and Giants. Oh, Simon, I got a lot of compliments at the live event about this specific moment. Are you ready to make Little Caesars, which is the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, part of your game day? Simon, the holiday season has finally arrived. Do you think Santa will be putting slices of Little Caesars pizza into your stocking this Christmas?
I hope so.
Order online during our Pizza pregame 1 hour before NFL games and get ready for some football and fun. Choose your favorite Little Caesars pizza or pick the toppings you crave. Simon, what do you think about this new holiday motto I invented? If the evening snow shines like magic dust, it's a sign to order crazy crust. However, you order your pizza, you win. And speaking of winning, everyone scores with convenient delivery or our in store pizza portal pickup. So grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. As a reminder, for the second time, you can catch every episode of The Favorites live on YouTube every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. All right, Survivor, we talked about Steelers and Packers. Where do you think you'll land?
Um, I guess Steelers, even though everything in my body's telling me to take the Patriots. It's hard for me to back them at this number. It's like if this was 7, I could get there, but on Thursday nights, short week after a loss, it's hard for me not to back Tomlin at home in this spot. So ride with Evan's stat though. Just take the fucking under. I mean, don't even pick a side here, but if I gotta take a side, I'll take Pittsburgh.
What are your biggest bets right now?
Oh God. I mean, people are gonna hate him regardless. Jets. Actually, you know what? I actually have some easy ones. I got the Chiefs in there. Like I've just been hitting that number since it's moved. But yeah, Jets, Bears, Bucks, Cowboys, and the Chiefs. Those are ones I really like bet a lot on. And Panthers, I was hoping I was going to get back to 6, but that's just gone down. I think on most books it's 4.5. There's a couple 5.5s out there. So I haven't bet too much on the Panthers yet. I was really hoping it would go up, but it hasn't. And like Evan put in our chat, a couple books went to 7.5 again on the Rams. I'll probably put a little more on that Rams number.
As a reminder, the Favorites podcast is presented by Bet365. Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why you get more boosts with them than with anyone else. Every day, they power up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more. Bet365 boosts specific markets, your winnings, and even parlays, and they don't stop there. Keep an eye out for their biggest and best odds with the incredible Super Boost. Check out the boosts and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older and present in Colorado, Iowa, Louisiana, New Jersey, Ohio, or Virginia, and 18 and older in Kentucky. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Terms, conditions, restrictions apply. All right, before we get out of here, we're joined by Action Network Director of Research, Evan Abrams. We talk about him all the time. People put his stats on their Dak Prescott jerseys in permanent ink. Evan, you're getting the last word.
Yeah, I was going to say Dak's playing the NFC East this week, so we could just run that one back. But let's go a little bit sideways. So Trevor Lawrence banged up. CJ Beathard's supposed to get the start. Worth noting, Jaguars, they've won 10 straight games against the spread, road neutral. That is the longest winning streak over the last 20 years. So right now, obviously all Lawrence in the past, but really running hot away from home. And it's also worth noting, look this up during the show, Flacco hasn't been a favorite since 2019, hasn't laid 3 or more since week 1. of 2019. So that has been a minute. Story of the weekend, backup quarterbacks. As of now, I think we're bracing for about 8 or 9 backups, depending on what happens with Derek Carr. So if Derek Carr doesn't go and Jameis starts, 9 backup quarterbacks this week would be the most in a non-week 17, week 18 since week 14 of 2013. So it has been exactly 10 years without Derek Carr this week. If he doesn't go, we've seen this many backups. And since the start of last season, backup quarterbacks, 63 and 91 straight up. Yikes. But 83, 67, and 4 against the spread. So usually covering those numbers. And then finally, I will say this, guys. I'm on the Giants. I agree with you, Chad. I like the number. But this is just insane, and I got to say it. This will be the 35th night game for the Jets and Giants since 2018. They are 4-30 straight up, including 3-30 in their last 33. Since 2018, they are 1-15 straight up at home in night games. Only win, week 1 this year when the Jets beat the Bills. So tough sled, but I like the 6.5. So let's roll.
None of that stat worries me. That just is fluky nature of bad football in New York. Playing the number in front of us. I like it for all of us. To recap, our foxhole was Dallas -3.5. Simon says Kansas City -2.5. Executive decision, Chicago +3. Big balls. I didn't change it. Carolina +5. Our round robin is Cleveland. No, I'm sorry. Carolina, Chicago, Rams, Jets, and Giants. Everything against Evan. Against everything Evan just said. Simon, if we had to lock in 5 picks right now, I'm going to look at the board after this. I'm thinking Carolina, hoping we can get 4.5. Bears, hoping we can get 3.5. Rams, hoping we can get 7.5. Kansas City, I'll take whatever under 3 we can get. And New York Football Giants +6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to try to force the Cowboys in. I just like that number a lot. It's just a nice spot to take the Cowboys.
Who do you want to take out? Carolina, Bears, Rams, Giants.
I would take them over that Giants for sure.
Okay, I don't mind it. Look, if it's going to be one of your biggest bets of the week, which I think it is.
Like I'm getting there on the Dallas team. That's why it's like it feels like I have to get it in there. I'm getting pretty heavily invested.
All right, Giants are out, Cowboys are in.
Perfect.
There we go. Download us from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe. Leave us 5 stars. Say whatever you want. Feedback is the gift. Until Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern. Love you.